So, Dave, we've talked a lot in generalities and some theory, and we want to keep our little vignettes practical.
Practical.
Do you have an example of a time where maybe the Lord used you in the role of snatching someone from the mouth of a predator, or something practical where you didn't realize what was happening, but the Lord was trying to rescue someone?
Mm. Yeah, I can think of a few, but I can think of one in particular. And I think what struck me about it was I was in a very different place. I was in a non-confrontational place. I was in like a I'll also be a nice meeting. We might have to talk about some tough things, but And I remember praying on my way to talk to this guy, and he said he was struggling with some stuff, and I didn't really know all the details. This is years and years ago, but I remember when I sat down and we started talking. He started talking. The Lord was very clear and very loud that like he needed to be like warned that he was right on the edge of losing everything, losing like everything he cared about, including his place with the Lord. I mean, it was like way more dramatic, way more rescue oriented than I had been in the place of. I wasn't like heading over there with that spirit of like, all right, this is it. I gotta really, snatch this guy back or whatever. But in the moment, as his pastor, as someone that had a pastoral role in his life, the Lord was loud and clear. He needs to be warned in the clearest terms possible that if he takes one more step in this direction, he's going to lose everything, and he's going to lose his place with the Lord. And it was shocking, I think, to both of us because I had to say that, and I had to say it with the Lord's confidence, even though, again, it wasn't like this was where I was at, just before. It was one of those moments where the Lord showed me, like, this is life and death. This is do or die. This is really lion, like devouring him. And I had not been aware of that, of what had been going on, but the Lord was very clear that that's what was going on. And so it almost shocked me to say it, and it shocked him to hear it. And it was a really sort of tense, awkward moment. And, I wasn't even sure if he would receive it. And it was one of those where I had to, like, more or less conversation, like, kind of ended soon after because he wasn't expecting that. He wasn't ready for that. He didn't like that, and got kind of defensive about it. And I was just trying to say, I know the Lord is giving you this chance, and I just really want you to take this word from the Lord. Yeah. And try not to be super dramatic, but it was the Lord's like moment of like trying to rescue a person, and so I had to kind of just do what the Lord asked me without it being like tie a nice little bow on it, and just pray that he heard the warning. It made me just realize that, that the Lord is probably trying to rescue us or rescuing us more often than we expect, and maybe more often than we're willing to be, like that he is probably pretty regularly saving us from real danger. Like it wasn't on the agenda, and it was very clear, and it was one of those things where it's like, this is my job to answer the Lord. And even if I lose his liking of me or goodwill for this moment, so it was tough, but I know the Lord was able to present him an opportunity to not step over the cliff.
Well, and also having a human pastor type in our life, I think we tend to think of it in terms of, well, if my life is normal and settled down, I want this a part of my life. I want to have that relationship with a person who can step in the gap from the Lord, and we don't realize that part of God's plan is that we have a person in our life when we're in great danger, can voice something and say, hey, don't do that, or you don't understand what you're doing. And so we don't listen to a person who says that sometimes, or we turn away from advice like that. So that's great. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.